hands together for Geoffrey James Neill.
Give it up for Crystal's pants! Give it up! I love giving it up for clothing, right? So I've been noticing lately, there's certain people on Facebook that just make me really tired. Preach it. Like I probably should hide them, but it's far more satisfying to just scroll for 2 hours and watch the train wreck happen. Like, so tired. Well, because what they do is they have this post, and then it makes the angel commenters come, and they're like, there, you're such a good mom. Right, whoa. But because usually what there's the like, love, sad button. I kind of want to shut the fuck up button. I think they've confused the idea of being a good dog owner with being a parent. Because they're because they're like, we got a dog, now we're ready for kids. And then they're like, I used to like to take care of my dog. Because, I've noticed that, dog rearing and child rearing's a little bit different. And, because, I grew up a little bit different than my dog. I used to just, cry a lot. That's what I did. I would, because, during the winter, I couldn't put on gloves. I'd be like, because I would put on my glove and, my pinky wouldn't, go in the hole. Something like, I can't. And, so it was all winter. I was just because I had shocker hands. And the summer came and I would still cry because I had sunburns. My fair skin. I would be going out 30 minutes and then I'd blister. One time I had a blister on my chin. It was like a chin on my chin. My skin was always in between, either burnt or pimply because of the copper tone slather. But I just as a result cried. And so as a result I know it doesn't surprise me that I have an emotional child. Sometimes she just finds things to get herself upset. She's looking, she's oh, right there. And she's that boy said that he would shoot a bunny. And I'm that was 2 years ago. And she's yeah, but it still hurts my feelings. Sometimes I hate her feelings. One time, I think I slipped up and I told her feelings to grow a pair. She, she kind of felt the same way where it was she's Daddy, I don't need any more feelings. I have enough. I don't need a pair. That's true. She doesn't need any more feelings. It's true. I like the sunlight on my skin. I noticed that exposure to lots of, or certain things, heavy exposure, it tends to ruin them. Museums. My dad growing up loved museums. And and so as a result I would go, and it wasn't I didn't go to OMSI, tactile child experiences where I'm running through a human heart in a warehouse that smells like the flu. No, I got to go to every war museum ever. And like, you might think, oh, well, that makes you blessed. And yes, I was blessed to see like that many Winchesters behind glass. Like, and so as a result, I hate Colonial Williamsburg. Like, I mean, good for us for employing an entire town where people can like wear kerchiefs and teach children to like churn butter. But I just find that like an expensive form of boredom. You know, I think like museums, bottom line, museums need more chairs. You know, they just, like, because at least the opera, like, they have it dialed in. Like, they dim the lights before they give you a proper sleep. So, you know, I've been liking the winter, right? Winter? Who's liking the winter? No, I guess nobody's liking the winter. I'm liking the winter. I'm a dad. You know, I like the winter mainly because I don't have to go to the park. I mean, it's not like I do anything at the park other than look at my phone. But sometimes I have to, like, look up to see where my child is. And, like, you know, that's when she's, like, yelling at me from the swing. She's like, give me an underdog. If you're not aware of what an underdog is, it's like the most advanced level of swing push. Because what you have to do is you have to go under the dog. You know, it's like the crack of the playground. If they find out you do underdog, it's like swing infestation. They like horde all around you. They're like, hey, here you do underdog. You know, and so you have to really quickly learn your underdog boundaries. You're like, oh, yeah, but I only have 3 left. I'm getting low in my inventory. So, yeah, but I found, okay, my daughter loves the park, but I have to give her like a 5-minute warning. You're like, 5 minutes until we leave. And I find that's good parenting, because what that does is it allows her to go through all 7 stages of grief. You know, just like the shock, the depression, you know, the anger, you know, all of it. You know, usually she stops at like the 5th step, which is like, you know, depression, and she's like in the pool on the ground. You know, I have to scoop her up from the bark chips. Like, have you ever held a boneless person? And so I just like, you know, you know, because it's time, and in one fell like time out, I get her, you know, I just sweep all the rest of the stages of grief under the rug. like the rest of America. Right? They're like, oh, you know, you'll understand when you're older, and you voted for Hillary. You know, but and that's what's surprising to me. Like, you know, I mean, Trump is in office, and that's like, what? Like, I still don't believe it. I'm not there. Like, I'm like, you know, because I see him up there, you know, doing the thing, the president thing, and I just think that he's still on an old Hollywood set, like West Wing. You know, and he's like, I'm just ready for him to get up from the signing thing and just go, gotcha. You know, and I don't like, you know, because they're really trying to say, oh yeah, he's president. You know, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's some sort of conspiracy or something, like, you know, because I don't believe it. I don't believe it in my face, you know. Like, you know, what's going on? And, you know, they're like, they want you to know that soy milk is good for you, that like the moon landing and Trump, you know, just that. And and so as a result, I just think, oh, you know, maybe this is a lot bigger than I thought it was. You know, maybe this is a lot bigger than Trump. Maybe this is a lot bigger than the Russians. Maybe this is like a conspiracy of like Lin-Manuel Miranda proportions. Like, because like before he wrote like the play Hamilton, and he's like, wow, look at this play. It's about your nation. It's about getting up and revolution and all that stuff. And then he's like, but you care more about the play than the nation. So I'm going to get you to care. I'm going to put this person in office that will. He's like pulling the strings, making it all happen, and making us care. I'm like, what? No, I don't want to care about my nation, but I do. And I'm like, I want this to happen. I want change to occur. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna get you to care. I'm gonna get you up from your armchair. And he gave me a rap. And he's like, right now we have a leader that is quite the gymnast in misogyny, racism, conflict of interest, fraud, homophobia, sexual assault, inability to handle media like a normal adult, ignorance, white privilege, and white supremacy. It's clear why the feds are looking into him today. Our hearts are cut open with angioplasty, and as we weep, as half of us are called nasty. So the code word is solution. Solution! Self-made kings cannot stop our revolution. We can protest, we can speak out, we can strongly disavow it. But his power is not over us unless we allow it. So we gather here today to clear the airway and celebrate Farm2Table, day. All right, you have a good group today. Do it.